You missed The Miz. The Miz came out dressed as L.A. Knight with L.A. Knight's music and the whole 9 yards and the vest and the sunglasses. And he did L.A. Knight's promo, and it wasn't bad. As a parody of a babyface by a heel in the wrestling business, this was not bad. And then he stripped off the costume and cut his own heel promo on L.A. Knight, who he's going to be facing at Payback in like 3 days. So these have been the most underpromoted pay-per-views in the history of pay-per-view. But Miz did a good promo. I will give him a little golf clap for that. He seemed fired up. Sorry you missed it. You like him anyway.
I do, and maybe I will seek that out. Hey, quick question for you. What do you think it says, the success WWE has had for a while now with their big events, AEW coming out of Wembley, the success with no card at all built up? Is the argument, this is what wrestling could be, just you want to be a part of the thing and you go? I mean, is anyone arguing that these shows would have done less fans, not more fans, if things had been built up or logically laid out? Is the business model like this is the proper way now to build into a big event?
No, I think...
Leave people guessing until the last minute?
Wembley was an aberration. I don't think that the WWE is going to set any records with this pay-per-view this weekend. And I don't suggest that... also, to be honest, whoever buys the AEW pay-per-view this weekend in Chicago, we're going to find out what the fucking bottom number is of who's going to order AEW pay-per-views just because it's AEW. Wembley was an outlier in that, as we've said, the fans made it an event. Just because they were going to be there, just because it was going to be in that building, just because it was the first time they'd ever been in that country. Then it became a gathering thing and a travel thing for all those fans. You can't do that on a regular basis or in a place where you've been before, or whether it's no big deal to go to the arena itself, or all the conditions were right for that. No, I still believe to get people excited about something, to watch it, to purchase it, to stream it, to do whatever, they've got to know what it is, and they have to be interested in it. And I don't know whether they'd have done any less in Wembley if they'd have known the card ahead of time or not. They certainly wouldn't have done any more. It wasn't I don't think a benefit, the card to the show, but I don't think they would have done any less because of those conditions. But in another time, in another place, without the same context, I don't think it's a good idea to just say, buy these high-priced tickets and we'll give you a good card. Trust us.
But like if All Out, if AEW turns around and they say this ended up doing much better than we thought, 150,000 buys coming after the weekend of the other pay-per-view, Labor Day weekend, does that encourage more of this? Or does that make them stop and say, maybe we should try to make things more logical. We can make things bigger. That's the problem.
Or just space them out, or tell people what they're going to see, or have a plan. I mean, again, there's no reason you can't promote two events in the same week on television in two completely different countries, and the matches in Wembley could have had an effect. And I know some of them are starting to have an effect, but I'm talking about you could have announced it at the start. MJF or Adam Cole will defend the AEW title against so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't see how they can do 150,000 buys for a pay-per-view after people have just bought the goddamn allegedly biggest show of all time, and 7 days later, they want you to buy another one, and they're just going to start telling you what you're going to see after you've already spent the money last weekend. That's just... I know these people are dedicated, but how much money does a motherfucker have?
Raw rolls on.